Sorry, I'm just adjusting everything. Come on in. This is the first and only time you're going to see me as frumpy as this. But today is a frumpy to fabulous. That is the theme for this live. And I'm going to be showing you in real time how you can take your look from frumpy to fabulous in an instant without having to go and buy a whole new wardrobe. So many of us girlfriends during midlife, we go through body changes, we go through lifestyle changes, we go through so many different changes, and then we don't know how to dress. Sometimes the clothes that we used to wear, that we used to love, that used to look amazing on us, just don't work anymore. And sometimes it's also that our lifestyle itself has changed. Maybe you've gone from working in an office and getting dressed every day to working from home, or maybe mostly focusing on taking care of your family. And so therefore it's different in that regard. So today I'm going to show you some very quick and easy ways to mix up and make your look a lot more exciting. I do want to say as well that head into the description box below because I have a downloadable PDF for you. This is my downloadable free, like 5-step guide to go from frumpy to fabulous. Now, some of the things that we're going to talk about in this live will be dealt with in the actual manual, but some of it not, right? If you want to go into a deep dive, feel free to contact me. I do personal styling sessions online and in person, but we'll chat about that a little bit later. Okay, so this is the normal frumpy look, okay? And I'm hoping that you can all relate to this. I'm just going to step it down a little bit so that you can see. There we go. That's better. All right. So this is hopefully a look that many of you can relate to in some way, shape, or form. It's kind of like the uniform, right? So it has the meh jeans, the like not such exciting jeans, and then it has a very shapeless top, kind of in a meh color as well. Now, this isn't the worst color for me, I just want to say, but it's also not a fabulous color. And these jeans are not terrible. They're absolutely not terrible. They're just not fabulous. And how many times does that often happen? We kind of have this like in between, this like, oh, it's okay, but I'm not so crazy about it all the time kind of look, right? So we want to look and see how can we take this kind of frumpy meh jeans and meh top and transform it a little bit. So I'm going to show you some different ways. We're also going to deal with dresses, so don't worry, we're going to be doing some dresses. I've got quite a few examples, and head into the chat, guys. Let me know in the comments if you've got any questions, because that's the beauty of these lives. We get to do them in person, live and real time, and you get to ask your questions. Okay, so I'm going to show you, first of all, yes, I have the tags on because these are not my clothes. I don't own clothes like this, girlfriend. I had to just go and get them. All right, so what if we were to, first step would be, what if we were to keep the jeans, all right, the okay kind of jeans, the sort of all right kind of jeans. I'm going to shift this a little bit. There we go. The all right sort of jeans, and shift it by changing the top. Now, I have got underpinnings on underneath, so don't worry. I'm also going to be pinning some items in the actual live, and then also you can head into the description box. A bunch of the things that I'm going to talk about today are there for you to link and shop if you want to, but there's no pressure. This is not about the shopping. This is about the learning. Okay, so I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to say, well, hey, what if I were to, sorry, wrong one. What if I were to shift this top, okay, change out this top, which is completely shapeless, and we often do result in this. We often do go for this because of our menopausal belly. We want to try and cover up our menopausal belly, so we go big and baggy and long to try and cover it up. But if you know me and you know how I normally look, this is not looking fantastic, and you're going to see the difference in a second, okay? So I'm going to take this top, I'm going to ditch this top, and I'm going to change it for something a little more exciting. So hopefully in your closet, you know, sometimes we have something in our closet already that can really work well. I'm just going to pop this over here onto my underpinnings just so that I can do this. There we go. And just a little tip, when you're taking off clothes, do this if you've got lipstick on, because that'll help to not get the lipstick on the actual items. Okay, so I'm going to shift and I'm going to put this top on instead of the top that I have. So keep the same jeans. All right, I'm not loving the jeans yet. Still not loving the jeans, but they're okay. They're all right. But could we completely transform this look by adding a different kind of top to the same jeans? You know, often we think we need to completely overhaul our entire closet in order to make a better look. And sometimes not. Sometimes you've got things in your closet that you don't even know is there. That maybe even still has tags on. That maybe you thought, oh, I'm not ready to wear that, or oh, this is too much. Now maybe it's time. So, what are you looking for in a top? Preferably something with color, girlfriend. Let me just say to you, I'm a huge believer in color, especially as we get older, especially as we lose color in our hair and in our skin. We actually need really good color close to your face. As an example, a personal example, like I hardly go anywhere without lipstick anymore, because without lipstick I really do feel the difference. I can see the difference and I don't have the contrast. Although this is my natural color hair and I have pale skin anyway, I'm noticing that without lipstick I just don't look that great. Okay, so I seen there we go. Hey Lil, wow, gorgeous, stunning top flares to exactly. Okay, so Lily's saying that this is the top flares. It's exactly that. So I want to encourage you, try some color and try some print. Okay, I'm also going to hold on. I'm just going to pin this top. By the way, this top is actually available for sale. And by the way, if you don't like this print, if this print is way too much for you, I do everything customized, and so you can get things in a print that you actually really love. But the style is there. Lily's absolutely right. What this does is it now has that beautiful little nipped in waist, almost like a bit of a peplum situation, and then it goes and it flares out a little bit. Then what also is happening is the print is disguising a multitude of things. So this is one of the things. Yes, color, good color close to your face is so important, but print just completely transforms the whole thing. Why? Because it disguises all the things that we're not so crazy about. So, you know, sometimes a little bit with that back fat, okay? Sometimes a little bit with the belly, sometimes a little bit with all that. It makes a big difference when you are wearing print because it disguises a multitude of things. However, what you do have to do with print is you have to wear something that has shape. And that doesn't mean tight. This would be tight, okay? That would be tight. This is shape. Can you see that? All right. So already this has completely transformed this look. I've gone from a frumpy top with no shape with a very matte kind of color. All right. It's not a terrible color, but it's not that great. All right. Look at this. It's not that great compared to this looking a lot more fabulous. I still got the same jeans on, but because I've changed the top, the look is looking amazing. The other thing that you can do, if you've got a little bit of if I have short legs, I've got a long torso and I have short legs. So one of the things I tend to do is I do tend to tuck in my tops. And if you have a really nice pair of jeans that's got a little bit of that sucky innie, I'm going to show you a pair in a second, little bit of that sucky innie thingy here, you can often afford to tuck in your tops. And so you could tuck it in, and then I love to do this. Let me come up close so that you can see that. Hold on, I'm going to take this top. I've just got lots going on here. Okay, so here we go. I could take this and just twirl it around. Do you see how it gives a little bit of that ruching? And then I tuck it in, and now I make my legs look even longer, okay, which yay. And because I've got a little bit of the sucky innie with these jeans, it works well. Now, if you don't want to tuck in your tops, no problem. You can do this, but you want to make sure that the top has got shape. Okay, so now let's see if we were to rather change now let's see if we change the jeans. Hold on, this is just a little bit, this is like really long on the one side. Hold Okay, this is the fun thing about live, girlfriends, is that it's live. So all the mistakes happen and they happen in real time as well. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these jeans off and I'm going to add a better pair of jeans to this top. All right? And let's see what happens now. Now, your perfect pair of jeans is going to, oh, please don't tell me I do. Oh, yes, I do have them. Okay, is going to depend on your body shape. Now, many of us during perimenopause and menopause have got extra around our bellies, okay? But we still have different body shapes. So if you are bigger in your hips, so you've got a tum and you're bigger in your hips and maybe your bum and your thighs, then a wide leg is going to work really well to give you that balance. If, however, you've got a lot of belly and boob and there's all this, but then you've got slimmer legs, then a straight leg is going to work better for you. Now, not to say that you can't wear a wide leg, because I have some clients that I recommend these wide legs to, and in fact, who have got that exact thing where they've got the top part of their body is bigger and the bottom part is slimmer, and these still work really well. Now, the jeans I'm going to put on, I've just pinned that there. The jeans that I'm going to put on are not exactly the same ones that I've got pinned there, but they're fairly similar. These are actually sold out. So, but I have the ones that you have in the bottom pinned in white. They're amazing. They're very, very similar to the ones that I'm going to put on. Okay, so now I'm going to ditch the matte jeans, all right? And I'm going to put on the wide leg jean. Okay, so now I'll just, to share, since we're sharing as girls, my body shape has definitely changed during perimenopause. I used to be very small, like I used to have broader shoulders, smaller boobs, and then very narrow in my hips and in my legs. I now have hips. I have a bit more boob. I'm not complaining. I'm loving that. But so what it does, but I'm still pretty straight up and down. So I don't have much of a defined waist. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in a second, of how to create a sense of a waist. Because for many of you, you're probably thinking to yourself, Tracy, that's great to define a waist, but I don't have one. And that is a very common thing that happens for women in perimenopause. We tend to feel like our waist disappears. And in a lot of cases, you would be right. Our waist does definitely disappear a little bit, but the good news is you can fake a waist. Okay, so now I'm going to shift into these. And by the way, the jeans and both the straight leg and the wide leg are in the description box below, as well as in the tag products for this video. Okay, so now what we're doing, we're having a completely different look. So now we've gone from a very straight leg in a lighter color wash, okay? Not bad. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but when you go for a darker wash, I feel like it's a lot more slimming. It's actually a lot easier to dress it up and dress it down as well. All right. And so what I would recommend that you do is go with a very dark wash if you're wanting to disguise your belly. Also, what I like about the jeans that are pinned in the products below is that they have got that sucky any thingy happening. So they've used the technology, the fabric technology, to give you a little bit of that suck into the tummy and the lift into the bum. And it's fantastic. Let me tell you, I absolutely love them. It also has got that very nice long line going down the body, and it's got the flare. Now, why is the flare important for us? Okay, first of all, it's fashionable. I care less about that, though. Let me just say to you, I'm a fashion designer and a stylist, but I care less about fashion. I care more about how it's making your body look, how it's making you feel. That's more important. However, fashion does mean that is what's available to us. Okay, so what I like about a wide leg is A, it's very fashionable, so there's a lot available. And then B, if you've got that sucky any thingy happening at the top and you've got a little bit of a higher waisted, it's giving you a bit of that tuck in the belly. And then it's giving you that flare out in the pant. And that flare is making everything above it seem narrow in comparison. All right. So in this case, I have to say, if at all possible, it is a good idea to tuck in your tops. Because you're already getting that really nice wide leg. You're getting the balance for your belly with the wide leg. Whenever that is wide at the bottom, it makes everything above it seem narrow in comparison. Now, I use this intentionally because I don't have much of a waist, and so it actually makes me look narrower in my waist because of the flare. Okay, also helps with the belly. Definitely. When I first hit perimenopause, I gained 3 inches around my belly like overnight. I am now on HRT, and I've made some lifestyle adjustments, and so I've balanced out a lot. But I still have those bloated days. I still have those days when I need it. It's just what it is, right? It is that, and my body shape has changed. But what's nice is that these jeans they've got stretch in them. They've got a nice higher waisted. They give a bit of that sucky innie. And so you can afford to then tuck your tops in. However, if for you that is just not possible, girlfriend, if you're in absolute anxiety with me just saying it, no problem. Wear your tops out. Just don't wear them big and baggy and long. Okay, so now I'm going to switch over to the matte top. So now I've got the great jeans. I've got a great top, and this top can work perfectly even if it's tucked out because it does have that beautiful shape and it flares, all right? It also has some color, which is really fun. But now I'm going to go back to the matte top and let's compare it. So I've got the good jeans, and now I'm going to go with the matte top. All right, does that work? Hold on. Let me see. All right, let's see now. Okay, so this is what not to do with a wide leg. When you are wearing a wide leg pant, the important thing to remember is the wide leg is doing the magic for you. Okay, so you want to go fitted more, maybe even tucked in, fitted shorter, not big and baggy. So what if we were to take the same matte top? Okay, it's not a terrible color. It's just not a phenomenal color. It's not like really making my complexion pop. So what if we were to do this? Hold on, the tag's getting in the way. Okay, we do this and then twist and pop it in. Okay, so now it's looking very different, right? It's now not looking as matte. All right. Still, I would say the color is not phenomenal. It's not my best color. If it's maybe a turquoise or maybe a teal blue or a olive green, it would look a lot better than it does. Okay. But it's still not bad looking, I have to say. And now, because I've given it some shape and I've tucked it in with these jeans, now it's feeling like this is not half bad. Okay, so do you see what I'm saying? When it comes to Frumpy, from Frumpy to Fabulous, we often think we need to make massive drastic changes. We've got to get rid of everything in our wardrobe and start all over again. And sometimes that is true, but often it is not. And there are things that you can utilize in your closet. And sometimes it's about just a few little styling tweaks that can make that difference. All right, so now what if I were to take that? Now, what are the other options? So like sometimes this is very scary for women. So the tucking in of the top is like, ooh, Trace, I don't know. I don't know if I really want to tuck in my top because I've got more of a belly. Okay, so let's look at some other options. Could we maybe do a fitted vest? Okay, now this is what I love about a fitted vest. A fitted vest can completely transform a look. It can take a top that is maybe a little bit on the too tight side and give it some more coverage around the back fat and all of that. Or it can even give something that has less shape more shape. Now, this exact one I made, so I don't have it any longer. We sold out of this. But I have found some other ones that I'm going to pin for you. By the way, girlfriends, in the description box below, some of the things are not exactly in this video, but there are other recommendations. For instance, with jackets, I've given you quite a few jackets. I've given you a couple of different options on a vest, just to see, depending on your budget or the style that you like. So try any of them, whichever feels right for you. But look at how this can completely transform the look. Now, I still much prefer, I'll be honest with you, I still much prefer the tucked in top. And that's probably also because I have got short legs. And as soon as I tuck my top in, it makes my legs look longer. But it still does look a lot better if you have the vest, then without the vest. Okay, so that's without the vest. Now, and it would probably look better if this vest was a little bit darker because it would be a little bit more contrasty with the top. And the ones that I've got in the description, some of them are the light denim, so it just depends on how you feel. But this does look a lot better than without the vest. Now, what if we were to do a jacket? Now, I live in New York City. It is still chilly. In fact, sometimes downright cold. It's still like coat weather. I was freezing last night. I went out for dinner and I was like way underdressed and I really froze. Anyway, so we need jackets still. And so a jacket is a great way, a third layer is a great way to give something shape instantly. Now this denim jacket, I love this denim jacket. I have pinned it in the bottom below. There are a couple of different options. There's a darker version, which I really, really like because then you can almost wear it as a suit. But look at how that jacket can completely transform things. So what this does is it gives you that very nipped in, and then it goes straight down like that. It actually goes at an angle, which then elongates your look and takes attention away from the belly because of the way that is cut. So it's all about defining a waist. When you define your waist, you look amazing, you de-emphasize your belly, and you completely transform your look. It's one of the most important things that you can do. And often we think that we have to do it one way. Well, we don't have to define. There's lots of ways to defining your waist, and this can be one of those ways. Now, I still am not loving the top. I'll be honest and say it's not ideal. But sometimes you have to work with the wardrobe that you have and ease yourself into something that is more you, that feels more like you, that you actually really want to wear. All right, so this is an option. I would still go with a color. So let's now try with the better top, because now we're going to do the whole outfit at its best. Okay, just a second. Hopefully I can get rid of that matte top now. It's really not my favorite. And let me know, girlfriends, in the comments if you've got any questions, because that is the beauty of an event, a live like this, because you can actually, this is the way that you can engage and ask your questions and all of that. Okay, so now here's the top with color. It is in the description. It is in the description box below, as well as tagged in the products. I'm not going to tag every single one of the products because it just takes a bit of extra time. But I will tag the jacket. Hold on. Okay, so this is the one that is the closest to what I have. There is a dark wash one as well. Okay, and then here I can go with the jacket. And yes, you can mix and match your denims. In fact, sometimes it's better to do that because sometimes trying to get that denim the right color or the right shade together is a little complicated. I don't think you have to. If it's a very dark wash, often a very dark wash will work with a very dark wash. So it doesn't really matter. But yes, you can mix your colors, and it's actually fun to mix your denim colors. Okay, so can you see here? There we go. So this is a completely different look from what we started out with. Now, what I would recommend that you do, if you are wearing jeans and a t-shirt, go and look at all the different jeans that you have in your closet and see which are the better jeans that you have. What are the better ones? A lot of us have got loads of jeans in our closet, sometimes ones that we haven't even worn. So go and revisit all of your jeans, take them all out, try them all on. Which are the best jeans that you have and which styles suit you the best? And then, do you have fun tops that you can add to your look? Maybe tops that you didn't think you could wear before. Tops that you thought, oh, no, that's too loud, or that's too colorful, or I'm not sure about the style. Try them on and start playing a little bit. And then see, do you have maybe a denim jacket or a vest? Or maybe it's worthwhile investing in a good denim jacket or a fitted vest that is going to transform your look. Maybe it's worthwhile. Maybe you've got a ton of tops and you can just get a good pair of jeans that is going to go perfectly with that. One thing to recognize as well, girlfriends, when you are trying on your tops, it's important to look at the type of jeans that you're wearing, because if the jeans are maybe too low cut, or if they don't fit you as nicely, the tops themselves are not going to work well. You want to look at your body as a whole. You want to look at everything as a whole and see what works best for you. Okay, so now, what about dresses? So a lot of times in spring, summertime, we want to wear dresses. I love dresses. So I'm going to take you through. I've got a meh dress, and then I have a lot better ones. Okay. Oh, luckily I can take these off with my shoes because they are wide leg. Hold on. Okay, and by the way, my underpinnings as well, also in the comments, in the description box, they're tagged in the description box below. So you can go and check them out. They are cotton, which is really nice, so they're breathable. Okay, so I'm going to show you a big mistake that women make with dresses. Okay, so let me just take this off. Hold on. Okay, here we go. I'm grateful to have underpinnings so I don't have to step outside of the camera. It makes it much easier for me. Good morning. Weird comments. Okay, so this is a big mistake that women make. A big mistake that women make. So what they often do is they go, because we get a menopausal belly and our shape is changing, we want to go big and baggy and long to try and cover it up. So what I would recommend that you do is sorry, let me say that again. One of the things that women do is they go from, my body shape has changed, now I want to cover it up, and so I'm going to go big, baggy, and long. But what that does is it actually makes you look bigger everywhere. And listen, girlfriends, I get it. There's no judgment about this, because for me, when I hit perimenopause and I suddenly gained an extra 3 inches around my belly, I also had that feeling of like, I just want to cover it up. But it actually makes it look bigger. So that's the thing. Without shape, it makes it look bigger. Now, you may look at this dress and think, oh, it's kind of okay. All right, it's kind of okay, but it's definitely not fabulous. So what is the alternative? Now, I'm going to show you an alternative. This dress is just straight down. It doesn't have much shape. It's really not giving anything, and it actually can make you look bigger here, all around here. So now, okay, I'm going to show you another alternative. Okay, so now, very similar, oops. Okay, very similar dress in its, well, I don't know if I want to say it's similar because it's actually a lot better. Well, kind of similar styling, similar thought process. This is made out of a breathable fabric. I'll pin it in a second. Okay, also sleeveless. So I'm going to show you an alternative, girlfriends, if you want something with a sleeve. Sorry, I realized I didn't have my microphone on, so that could be problematic. Okay, and I'm going to pin the dress. There we go. I also have an option for you if you need a sleeve. So don't panic and think, oh my goodness, Tracy, it doesn't have a sleeve. I can't show my upper arms. Don't panic because I have an option. Okay, so now, how does this look? So what we have now is it's not tight. This would be tight. Okay, so this is what it would look like if it was tight. Oh, I definitely don't like that. Versus it's got shape. So can you see that? And then also it's got the flare, and the flare at the back is longer to give you a little bit more coverage if you need it, so when you bend down. But this has got a fit and flare, and that de-emphasizes the belly straight away. So if I were to go like this, can you see how it does that? So if I were to, and it's difficult with the flare because the flare is still at the bottom, but can you see how that makes all the emphasis there versus that? Completely different. Now you can actually take this even further. And let me just say to you, I designed this dress because I was having to go onto QVC with 7 different cameras around me, having gained an extra like 3 inches around my belly. And I had to wear solid colors as well. So now what I'm going to do is show you a way that you can even take it to the next level and even disguise the belly a little bit more. Because it is a solid fabric, you're always going to have to be aware of a solid fabric more than you will with a print. With a print, it disguises everything. I'll show you in a second how that works. It disguises everything. In a solid color, there is always a little bit more concern. You have to consider panty lines. You have to consider certain things. But this is a slightly heavier cotton. And so you'll find that it doesn't cling like a very lightweight cotton does or a normal solid fabric. Okay, but what you can do is you can take a little bit of this excess, and it's stretchy, so it helps a lot. Take it there, all right? And then pop on a belt. Now, this is what I did. So I did this because I wanted to disguise my belly more. So what's nice about this is that now you can take the extra and you get it right in front of the belly, and then you take the belt and you tie it to the side and let the emphasis go down the body as opposed to right in, like, right there. Down the body, and an asymmetrical line draws the eye down and away from here, and it works like magic. Now, you don't have to wear the belt. If you don't want to wear the belt, you don't have to wear the belt. I found the belt really helpful. It actually, for me, disguised my belly even more. I don't need it as much as I used to because I am on HRT and I've gone through that. But there are times when I feel very bloated, and the first thing I do is I grab the belt and I do that exact thing. I take the extra fabric and I pull it to the front, and it just gives that extra bit of disguising there. Now, what about the upper arm? So a lot of women, and I get it, a lot of women don't want to show their upper arms. Okay, so if that is you, I have an alternative for you as well. And I know that the dress that I had, the Met dress, also was a sleeveless dress. And a lot of times things are sleeveless. And that is one of the frustrations that women feel is that, well, it's summertime and it's so hot, but I want something sleeveless. So what I've done here is I've actually got what I call the magic top. Now, the magic top, it isn't exactly the same fabric. And it can go over and then further disguise the belly. Can you see that? Because it actually does almost what the belt is doing. But what it has is it has this little frill sleeve. What the frill sleeve does, now, first of all, you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, Tracy, that doesn't cover the upper arms. And you're right, it doesn't. But what it does do is it actually makes them look smaller in comparison. Let me get my wild hair out of the way. Okay, so what it does is because of that frill, it makes this look narrower. Whereas if it was like that, can you see how that then is going to make the upper arm look wider? Now, if you don't want that, if you want a 3/4 sleeve, you absolutely can have a 3/4 sleeve. There's no problem. I think I have one. Let me just see if there's one. Yes, I have it here in navy. So this is available. Let me just pin it real quick for you. And it's called a magic top for a reason. That's the magic top. And you'll see there when you actually go into that, you've got options. You've got options to choose either a frill sleeve or a 3/4 sleeve, and you've got different colors as well. So everything can be customized for you, which is really fun. But can you see here that that actually draws the attention, makes my shoulders look wider, makes this thing look narrower. Then I have the tie going in front of the body, and that further disguises the belly. Do you see? So it makes it really fun. Then if you are comfortable to show your upper arms, this is really nice because it doesn't cut at the upper arm. In fact, it focuses there as opposed to where your actual arm is. And so sometimes I find this a very effective way to disguise your upper arms. So a lot of times we try and cover it, and in fact sometimes it's better, instead of covering it, to detract attention from, which is quite a different thing. Now, if you want to take your look to a whole nother level, okay, so we've spoken about little tweaks that you can make to your existing look, your jeans. Now you can go and look in your closet for dresses that maybe have that fit and flare. Maybe you've got something that gives you a little bit more shape, that isn't so tight, but that will give you that shape, that maybe you can put a belt on it. Maybe it needs a belt. Maybe it's going to work really well for a belt. What you do want to look for is something that's going to fit and flare at the bottom. The flare needs to be at the bottom so that everything above it looks narrower, and so that when you belt it, it gives you more shape. If it's a block cut, it's not going to work. All right? So let me actually demonstrate that quickly, and I'll have to put the other dress back on to do that. But I think it's worthwhile showing you is that I am a big believer in belting. I love belting. However, what I have found is that sometimes it's not just, oh, hold on, I don't have my microphone on me. Sorry, guys. There we go. Sometimes it's not just about the belt or where you're placing the belt, which it is all those things, but it's also the item that you're belting itself. So if you take this and you do the same thing, okay, it doesn't quite work. Can you see that? It works a little bit, but it doesn't quite work. And that's if I've taken it really like this. To me, this is still, I mean, it's better, but it's not as good as if it's a flared. Sometimes if it's a real block-like, all it's going to do is it's going to add extra volume around here. So a lot of times this is what happens, is we do this thing, and then it just adds extra to the butt, which I suppose could work, or it adds that. You know, so it doesn't really work to the same degree. It is better than if it's shapeless, but it doesn't work to the same degree. So that fit and flare really does make belting so much more effective. And it makes it much more effective to define your waist. Okay, so now we're going to take the look to a whole nother level. Okay, so now, hold on. Oh, I have a little bit of an arm injury from, so it takes me a little longer to take my clothes off. Excuse me, girls. All right, here we go. To get it over my head. All right, now, if you are going to invest in a few things that you want to add to your closet, if you're going to invest, then I would recommend that you invest in items that can dress up and dress down, that fit your body, that work for your body shape, and that really adjust to your changing body. So you can style them in different ways. That's what I would recommend you invest in, because you'll see now in a moment. I'm going to show you different ways that you can do this. So this dress is available in various different fabrics. So the style is called the Wear Three Ways. I'm going to pin it. And in fact, I've got a, here we go. Okay. Let me just see here. Do I have? All right. So there is an exclusive deal. By mistake. Hold on. Let me just see if I can quickly. I wonder if I can do this. Because I have an exclusive deal on this one. Let me see if I can quickly. Yes, I can. It looks like. All right. Done. Let me save it. Let me see if it will pick up here, because that will. Thank you, girlfriend. All right, we're 3 ways. Let me just see if it's gone to the bottom. Yes, it has. Okay. I just want to save you guys some money. So this allows, and it'll make sense to you in a second. The deal will make sense to you in a minute. All right, so what is so great about this is that it is shaped. So what I've done is I've shaped it in the waist, and then it flares out. Now, it's not at all, you can see that it's not at all tight. This would be tight, okay? And hold on, let me just see here. Yeah, I don't know what's happened. Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter. This would be tight. This has got shape, which is amazing. That's what you want. It's got that little bit of shaping, and then it's wide. Now, this comes in a shorter version. You can also adjust this. So you can adjust this multiple different ways. Okay, you can make it wider to cover up bra straps if you need to cover bra straps. If you want less of that ruching in front of your bust because you've got bigger girls, you can do that. Or you can cinch it in like this, because I have smaller girls and I like them to look a little bit bigger. You can cinch that in. There's also an option to cover your upper arms, so don't panic. Now, what you can do is you can also take the belt, all right, and this is why I wanted to include this as the exclusive offer, is that you can take the belt and you can take this look to the whole nother level. Again, you take that little bit of excess in the front, put it in the front, it disguises the belly. Wear this belt up high into your waist, all right? Don't go too low, because this is what would happen if you go low. Can you see that? That doesn't work. You want something high up into your waist. Wide belt. If you have a narrower, if you've got a shorter torso, you can actually fold it over and make this belt a little narrower. That's also very easy to do. This goes down the body, and now look at that. All right. Then you can wear this multiple different ways. You can wear this over your swimsuit, around the pool, for your vacation, barbecue with friends, whatever the case is, exactly like this. With a nice pair of shoes, like sandals, feel fabulous. You can also then dress it up and wear it to a lunch with friends or something like that. Put on a nice pair of earrings, do up your makeup. You can also put on a metallic shoe and wear it out in the evening with maybe a nice pair of earrings, maybe put your hair up. You can completely transform this look and wear it multiple different ways. This exclusive offer, because you save $150 if you buy the belt and the dress together, comes in 3 different prints, and it is super easy to fit. It is a no-brainer. Okay? Then if you need a upper arm coverage, then I would suggest that you do the magic blouse in the same fabric. You can do it one of 2 ways. You can do it either in the same fabric, and then it actually looks like a dress altogether. Can you see that? So nobody realizes that, oh, hey, you've got 2 different pieces on. You actually look like you've got one dress on. It's all together. Or you could do it in the navy, in the magic top, so the magic blouse versus the magic top. You could do it in the navy, in the magic top, so that you've got a little bit more contrast, and you could do it like that. That's also another way. Then you don't need the belt. It just disguises the belly. It emphasizes the waist. It does all of the things. And it comes in, so it's got 3 different fabrics. I'll show you the fabrics. So it comes in the snake. This is the snake. It comes in the what I call the constellation. Let me just see where that is. Here we go. Okay, so it comes in these 3 different prints. So you can choose your print, you can choose your length, and it's customized to suit you. Okay, so when you are investing in your clothing, going forward, now listen, a lot of us have got a wardrobe full of clothing and very little to wear. Go and look at what you have already. See what can work for you already. See what little tweaks you can make that will make a big difference to your look. And then make a shopping list of the items that you need in your wardrobe. And then make sure that they fit your body shape, they work for your lifestyle, they adjust to your changing body if you are going through body changes like going through perimenopause or even just getting older. Our bodies change, so make sure that they can adjust according to that. And then it's worthwhile spending a little more because you know you're getting something that's going to work for all the different aspects of your life, because you can dress it up and dress it down. You can wear it multiple different ways. And that way, you don't need a lot of clothes. You just need the right things. So if this sounds good to you, feel free to check out any of the details in the description box below. I've also put products that are not from my collection. So this is from my collection. The brown dress is from my collection. The top's from my collection. But there are also jeans in there, there are jackets, there are vests, all types of things. I've recommended a whole bunch that I have tried and tested myself. And if you want to take this process further and you really want some deep dive help, like a lot of women do, then you can contact me for a consultation. So I will pin that in the comments. Let me just pin that in there. So I do this on both online and in person. So if you're in New York City or close to New York City and you come to the city, then we can definitely do it in person. So lovely to do it in person. But if not, we do that online. And that's where we'll go into a deep dive. I'll really deep dive with you. What is your lifestyle? What look do you want to create? What colors do you love to wear? What clothes do you love to wear? What do you want to say about yourself in the world? What do you want your look to say about you? And then we go into what are the things that you need, and I can help you with that. And I teach you how to shop as well. Because girlfriend, the wonderful thing is once you find your brands, you can just shop them on repeat. And if they're good quality things, you're not going to need so much, and you're not going to need to shop so much. I'm all about saving my clients money and time as well, because you need to be able to throw something on and look and feel fabulous immediately and every day, right? Okay, so girls, let me know in the comments if you've got any further questions. I'm here for you. I'm happy to help you. I haven't seen many questions in the comments. Also, if you are watching this on the replay, feel free to do that. You can reach out to me. My details are in the description box below, and those email addresses come directly to me. So I'm here for you. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll give it a second or whatever to see if there's any questions. Otherwise, we'll end off the live. So this is fun, right? At least you get your questions answered and see it in real time and real life action. And also make sure to download my free PDF. So it's the Frumpy to Fabulous guide, and the link is in the description box below. That is free for you to download. It'll give you a bunch of tips, a lot of visuals as well, and take you through some exercises that will help you. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend further, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.